Hi everyone. I thought I would do a quick video to share a process with you that has been coming up in a lot of my sessions this week. So anybody feeling fear out there, this has been a time of, again, roller coaster of emotions, of fear, of intensity, all transformation, all transformation. That's the cycle of transformation. But fear can feel really intense right now. There's a lot going on, obviously, in the world. And remember, we are the microcosm of the macrocosm, as within, so without. And I often speak to empaths and sensitive people because I am one. We feel it. We can feel it without even watching the news or, having shifted some of our old routines. Actually, just being out of a normal routine can create fear. And when we're out of our comfort zones, which is everything that our subconscious mind is comfortable doing and is familiar doing, it doesn't mean it's good, bad, right, or wrong. It just knows that information, knows that way, that rut, kind of, it can be a rut. So we're all out of our comfort zone because we're still in this holding pattern, waiting to see how this unfolds. And I'm going to keep saying it, even though it sounds repetitive. Please, please lean into this time. Don't resist the opportunity to do your own transformation. Use this idea of as within, so without to catch a deeper awareness of what is some of your old patterning, some of your beliefs that are needing to be addressed and shifted and changed. This is a time of, obviously, change. And in this enormous energy of possibility, we can have incredible positive changes that need to be made collectively. And it has to start with us. It has to. So I've said this before, a really quick method is to just ask yourself, what am I telling myself about what's going on in the world? Or where's my judgment? What am I irritated by? And look for that in yourself. Look for that in you. Be honest, be real, do your work. I'm trying to do my work the best I can. And speaking of that, I want to say, I got an interesting message. And I love feedback. I do. Sometimes it's like a little, I'm sensitive. But it actually, this was a really helpful and interesting comment. I sat with it for a little bit. And then here's what I arrived at. And the comment was, you tend to share too much personal stuff on your channel. Well, okay. I get it. I am a professional. I work as a transformational hypnotherapist, a soul guide. And my role is to support people on their journey of unfolding and kind of hold that illuminated awareness and teach tools to help them have that for themselves. And when I did go through my training years ago, I was taught as a clinical hypnotherapist, and there was a lot of structure and a lot of don't do this, don't say this, and it was too stuffy for me and too inauthentic. So I actually, I remember one mentor telling me that I not to laugh and don't to hold your emotions. You know what? I cry with my clients. If I feel touched by their story, I cry with them. So for me, having a YouTube channel for the purpose of outreaching and supporting, and my mission is now including myself, how can I not share some of my stories? I don't know. I think I get it. I mean, maybe some of you feel like it diminishes you seeing me as a professional. I don't know. To me, what I believe that, a professional therapist, a professional hypnotherapist, or just, I'm just a human. And yes, I have tools. I have skills and the capacity to hold space for others. But I'm also having my own experience. And for me, when I listen to people who are professionals, or those who have, transcended and, I'm sure there are real people that have done that. I mean, Eckhart Tolle is one of them, right? There are a handful of them, but I don't know. We're here for a reason, to continue to learn and grow, and we are spiritual beings having that human experience. So I tend to share from both. So I just wanted to get that out of out of the way. I'm going to do a little work with that in a moment when I teach you this process. I call clearing the fear and walking forward with love, or loving yourself forward. I'm sure you've heard that those two energies, fear and love, this is a Course of Miracles principle. There's only two energies in the world, fear or love. I do believe that. I feel that. And I can feel it in my body when I'm too much in fear. And maybe you can too. Assess that. Be aware of that. What does fear feel like in your body? And just breathe in right now and check. And see if you can identify any fear reactions in your body. For me, what I notice about fear is my breathing changes. And see right there, I just had to take a breath. Maybe I'm shallow breathing and not breathing all the way to into my belly. I might feel like I'm bracing a little bit. And here I'm going to share something personal. And I know the other thing about the comment. When I share things personal, the question is then, well, how come you haven't resolved this? You have all these tools. And healing is a spiral. You heal. I wish I could draw it for you, but I'm not going to attempt to do that right now. But just say, like, right in the middle, the beginning of your journey, and then the woundedness happens around you in your early years or through life. And that place where you were wounded, or the place that you created a negative story or negative beliefs, as you go around the spiral of your life and learning, you have a wider circle that, like, you're feeling good, you're doing good, but we tend to hit those places, visit them again. And then we recognize how much more wisdom we've gathered, how many more tools we have, but they tend to stay as part of our journey. I have to just say, I ask for forgiveness, because when I first started my business 19 years ago, I was all about just, I used to say, shift to solution, find the positive, look for the good, and always overriding those original wounds. Just wanted to put, I was one of those put some whipped cream on a pile of crap people. Just make it better, think it better. And I do believe that we can shift our state and alter our state, and we need to reach for those elevated emotions like joy and laughter and being confident. Yes, of course, but we have to be real and acknowledge those landmark places in our inner terrain that we will hit from time to time, especially when there's a lot going on. When there's a lot going on in the world or in our personal worlds, where, just a lot of demands overwhelm, we get overloaded, and our capacity, our conscious awareness capacity, where we can sort of navigate what is diminished and sometimes just checked out. And so I call it swimming in our subconscious soup. That subconscious program material, that's where some of the woundedness is, and yes, if we've addressed it, it's still going to be there. It's like those fault lines, that can crack open wide again, and we can fall back into them, or we maintain and we're aware, oh yes, there's a tender spot there, right? So that spiral of healing, then you get further and further out, and you have more awareness, more capacity to be with what is, and using your tools. So I wanted to say that, for me, if a practitioner tells me that they're completely, everything's healed and clear, I am suspicious. And again, I was one of those people. I can remember walking with a friend of mine, a colleague at the time. We were working at a holistic healthcare center together, and she's an acupuncturist. Hi, Holly, if you're watching. And I remember she turned to me, because I had been doing a lot of deep inner work. This is about 10 years ago. And she said, I gotta say, you really have shifted. You are such a different person. You're in such a different place. And I was like, yeah, I really thank you for saying that. I really feel that. And here's where I made a mistake. because I said, I really feel like I'm at that place I wanted to get to. And I feel like I'll always be able to stay here. I think I said something like that. I'll always be able to be at this state of feeling confident and feeling healthy and whole and joyful and all those wonderful things I had been striving to, experience. And then about, oh gosh, 4 years after that is when I started having enormous pressure and stress and health issues. And I sort of heard that echo of my voice announcing that I had made it and I had healed and I was there. So for me, okay, what did I learn about that? Be humble with your transformation. Be humble with your unfolding. Yes, be excited and boastful even about those grand and amazing insights and transformation. But understand, I mean, this is my perspective again. You're the expert of you and your journey. This is how I view it. It's like the unfolding journey. We have these moments. Like I think of, I have a Capricorn rising, so I relate to the goat climbing up the mountain. For any of you Capricorns or Capricorn rising, we are late bloomers. Saturn connected to Capricorn, it holds us back. It could feel like energy holding you back. And it feels like you're climbing up a mountain, and there are times when you get to stop and you get a beautiful view and everything is great. And then sometimes it feels like you slide down that mountain and you're always trying to get to the top. You're always trying to get there. So it's important to stop on a healing journey. And yes, acknowledge how far you've come. And even if you've slid back a bit, acknowledge what you have accomplished. And yes, also notice how far there is yet to go. But just know wherever you are is right where you're meant to be, and all is well. And I went off on a tangent and I wanted to get to this process. I have time to do it. Anyway, here's what I wanted to talk about today: fear. It's always good to assess your level of fear. The classic assessment scale, 1 to 10. 10, really intense fear, maybe feels like anxiety. 1, feeling really cool, really calm, really good. So you can maybe check that out right now. And while you're doing that, I'll go back to the thought I had. Whew, I'm all over the place today. And I don't edit these because I feel my philosophy is real me in real time. That's it. We don't edit as we talk to people. So, but what I wanted to say, that I was going to disclose something personal, and then I remembered the other part of that comment. So, assessing our fear in our body, if you are someone like me who has had a history of trauma in your background, you and I need to be even more compassionately aware, because we can easily go unconscious with our breathing. I catch myself sometimes running through the day or got a lot going on, and I'm breathing in my chest, or sometimes I'm holding my breath. This is a trauma, indicator of old trauma, or the bracing in the upper body, like that tense feeling. It can be connected to trauma, and it also can just be a real high alert that there's something activating a fear response within you. So just awareness, and then what fear responses, or I always think of it's like the fire alarm going off in our brain, and it's up to us to kind of survey, yeah, everything's okay, and let our bodies know everything is okay. So this process is a way to not only turn the alarm off, but to then reset the thermostat and your inner experience with a loving thought and loving energy that holds you. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. I want you to go ahead. You can do this later, or you can pause the video and go get yourself a tablet, some paper, or a piece of paper. And what you're simply going to do is just write, just do a column down the middle. So 2 columns. And on the left side, you're going to write fear thought. My fear is of public speaking. I can't say my words. I have a lot of fear about that. I'm just kidding. I do need to slow down though. When I watch these videos, sometimes I'm like, slow down, enunciate. It's okay. Loving myself forward. So fear thought, and then on the other side, you're going to write love response. I'm going to tell you what that means in just a second. Okay. So again, you can pause the video. What you're going to do is you're going to breathe into your body in this moment. And maybe you're already aware of the running messages in your mind that are connected to fear, the worries, the anxiety. Breathe into your body, catch and notice, what am I telling myself, or what old story is running, what belief is running. Breathe into your body, feel what your body feels like. And where do you notice fear? I feel some tightness here in my chest. And as I breathe into that, I can ask, what's that connected to? What's the fear thought? What's the fear thought? Okay. And then you're going to write down your fear thoughts in the left column. Just let it out, get it all out, because you don't want to hold it in here. What we keep within us and we sort of like try to, push it aside, it'll grow bigger. What we resist persists. And then it'll get our attention in a big way. And then suddenly, we have a big, full-blown fear reaction. Okay. So write them down, and then here's what you're going to do. This is my little technique I came up with. I called it Clear the Fear. That was the first part of it. And the second part here, it's important when you clear something, when you acknowledge something, it's like, oh, I'm thinking that. Okay, what do I want to put in its place? Okay, we're going to do a clearing exercise too, but then what do I want to put in its place? Okay, so this is where I often say, love ourselves forward. We have to access love and compassion for ourselves. This is probably the biggest practice we all need to be doing. Where is my level of compassion for myself? Where is my level of self-love? Okay, good to monitor that too on a 1 to 10. Oftentimes we are more loving and compassionate to others, and we shortchange ourselves. So it's a good place to start. You can do that assessment too. Fear 1 to 10, self-love 1 to 10, self-compassion 1 to 10, and notice where you are without judgment, and just say, okay, wow, gosh, if you're at a low 2 or a 3, just ask, what will it be like to be at a 5? Make it a doable reach. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drop back into our bodies and breathe into your body. And I want you just to evoke an image of love. Maybe it's a person you love, or a symbol that represents love. Maybe a heart, or a place you love to be, or a song you love, or a smell you love. And just breathe that into your body. And now I want you also to imagine you're connecting with a really dear person, a best friend, your partner, a child. And that love feeling that you can feel when you're with them, that, when you're in love, you just feel so good and you want to just take care and be present. That's the level of love we want to get to right now. So just practice that, okay? So now put your hand over your heart and just imagine turning up the volume of love and connecting to your heart. Just feel that. Saturate your body in the energy of love. Soak it up. You're worth it. You deserve it, okay? We all flourish when we have love, right? And love is available any moment. You connect to your divine source, or you connect to yourself. You can decide how much love you want to fill your well with every moment, every day. So now you're going to take one of your fear thoughts, and I'll work with the one that I was sharing. I shared too much personal stuff. That did create a little bit of fear in me. I was like, uh-oh, am I? Is that what people think? And so it did trigger a little bit of fear in me. So you breathe into your heart and you take that thought in. First ask, is it true? The Byron Katie work. Is it true? Yeah, maybe. I don't know, to some extent. But what we want to get to is that loving thought. When you go to your best friend, or I call my best friend and say, I'm having a hard moment. This is what's going on. This just happened the other day with something was going on. My best friend and I will call each other and leave messages. And then we leave these beautiful prayers or messages. And she just sent this glorious message to me, or a voicemail that just lifted me right back up. So sometimes we need our friends to do that, or our partners. But when we can do that for ourselves, even more powerful. So breathing into the heart, imagining I'm sitting with myself, but seeing myself as a dear friend in my heart. Or you can imagine, inviting in other people or Jesus or anyone that you connect to at a level of feeling that unconditional love. And then you think that thought, I shared too much personal stuff. Now listen and feel for the loving response. What's the loving response? And right away I get that's just who I am. I'm pretty open. I'm a contradiction of very private but really open when I do connect. It's interesting. I noticed that years ago when I was in college, a paper I wrote describing myself. I can be very shy and reserved, and then very outgoing and very talkative. So my response is, that's who I am. I share. I love to share from an open heart, and I love to share in a way that I feel like we're connecting. And also a big part of my mission is, you're not alone in this. And if I pretend like everything's always great with me, I don't know, for me it just feels like reassurance. And so my loving response to myself, I will write it down now, is that's just who I am. I share personal stuff from time to time, and if that's not your deal, if you don't like that, then change the channel. Anyway, that's the idea of this process. Find the fear, clear the fear, and love yourself forward. So now, one more time, breathing in, and we've got a loving response now. That's what we want to hold in our being. So in whatever way it works for you, this is my simple way that I do it, many practitioners do, you just invite in some light, some love and some light, like a waterfall of light, to just shower through your being and your body, clearing any fear, letting it go, clearing, releasing, letting go all fear, dissolving all fear. And just now letting the light move in, and feel again that you're being saturated in the energy of love. And now, on the inner, think the thought, the love response. Whatever yours is, you can say it out loud like affirmations. That's just who I am. And you know what? I love who I am. And I choose to embrace my uniqueness and sharing personal stories and being myself and trusting that that's how my soul expresses. And I love that about myself. So you can do something like that, say it out loud or journal about it, those love responses. And you can even cross out the fear stuff on the left column. Just cross it out. We're done with that now, for now. Make them up another time. But right now we want to just hold love and loving responses. So we can reset in this moment. In any moment you feel gripped by fear, you can reset, feel held by love, and have thoughts, like a loving response that lifts your spirit, just as if your best friend just said the most loving thing to you. You're going to be your own best friend in this technique. And then you start again, feeling loved, feeling loving, and being yourself with what you need to get through the next moment and the next moment. And that's how it is with transformation. It's not one day at a time, it's one moment at a time. And some moments can feel challenging and some moments can feel overwhelming. Just do this simple technique, or even if all you do is put your hand over your heart and reassure yourself, it's okay, you're okay. Or just give yourself some loving reassurance, okay? All right, well, I hope this nurtured your soul today. I'd love to hear your comments. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and invite your friends if you feel this work is helpful. And again, I'm just practicing and progressing as I go, and open to feedback, open as even that comment. It was helpful for me. So yeah, thanks for being with me on this journey. Take good care of you. Love yourself forward. Until next time.